look at what's going on around you? I know on one hand, I guess you can't. On the other hand, you must be curious. I saw you reading the Billboard.
Yeah, you know why I picked up that magazine in there? Because I never do. I have no idea. I swear to you, I have no idea who 70 or 80 of those top 100 bands are. At least.
It's hard to keep
I have
track anyway.
no idea who they are, what their songs are. And it sounds more like the tone of a guy that I would have looked on 15, 18 years ago and said, he's an old man, he ain't keeping up. But you know what? It doesn't relate to me. I don't understand it. I don't want to understand it. It's just what they do. I appreciate it for the genres of music that they are, but it's not relevant in my life. So I don't really know what's number one. I don't pay attention.
We're going to jump around the years a lot, if you don't mind. And you mentioned 83. You got the band together originally just to support a single that was breaking.
Correct.
Not thinking it was going to last too long.
No. No.
Where did all the years go by, and where did you go wrong?
Well, it was the song Runaway was pretty much a fluke and a Cinderella story, because that same tape was sitting on every A&R guy's desk around New York and even some places here in Los Angeles. But I didn't have a band that was worthy of making records because you couldn't afford it. There's no money to be made playing original stuff, and when that song started to break nationally without a record deal or management or band or anything else, I said, man, this is the thing, but get something going. And fortunately for me, I got to meet Alec, who knew Tico, and Dave played in a band with me prior, back in the cover band days, and Richie was in a band with Alec, so when he came to see the band, he wanted to be in the band. And then our relationship started and hit it. None of us wanted to walk away from it. It was a magical combination.
Right.
Sorry, I should have turned off my phone. Hello?
The rest of the boys saying, well,
hey, Donnie, I'm actually in the middle of an interview, so I got to call you back. All right. Sorry.
That's okay.
Donnie.
Donnie Maggi?
Forever.
Oh, cool.
Sorry.
Who's that
I'm
guy?
so sorry. An old high school buddy of Richie's.
That's right, yeah.
That's kind of cool, though, that you still keep in touch with.
Yeah, we still see each other, yeah, sure. Then John became friends with him too, so.
Now, what did you first think of John when you first met him?
Actually, the first time I saw John was in a club, and Alec had called me up and said, yeah, I'm playing with this guy, John Bon Jovi, and the Wild Ones, I think, right?
Yeah. Wow.
And he goes, you can fit in here, man. You should come down and see it, And I did, and I walked in. As soon as I looked up, I said, that guy's a star. I knew it immediately. And there was a young guitar player in the band by the name of Snake Sabo, who's obviously the guy in Skid Row. But Snake was very, very young. I think he was 16 maybe.
Yeah, he was certainly never meant to be the guitar player in the band. He was just a neighborhood guy, and I needed another guitar player up on stage, so Snake truly was, there for a minute.
And he was very proficient at what he was doing, but one of the main things about being a professional musician was the fact that you have to also listen besides actually play. And his listening skills weren't as good. You have to really know when to, like Kenny Rogers says, know when to hold them and know when to fold them,
He was doing solos for the whole song.
No, he was the only neighborhood kid I knew that was going to come and play for a couple of shows.
So I kind of knew I could fit in there.
And there was a bond established immediately. It was something that you knew.
Well, we went and started, we hit it off personally, but then we started to write together and had some kind of a gelling combination that, it took us 3 albums to get it right, but fortunately for us, Polygram at the time, gave us the opportunity to develop a voice. And so it took us 3 albums to really get it right, though the first 2 did okay. By the 3rd one, we got it,
There was stuff happening with the band in that guys were coming to see you and girls were coming to see you.
Yeah.
I was going with a girl in high school that had, the band's pictures plastered all over her room. I didn't like you guys very much. For that reason, but
Did she call him my name? Did she ever say, I
was only 17, and you weren't doing that kind of stuff.
Oh, you weren't doing that
yelling.
kind of stuff, yeah.
She wasn't yelling names.
Oh, she wasn't yelling names yet?
Oh, now she is.
Man.
But
Maybe she's calling. Wherever you are, hope you're calling my name.
But you reluctantly, you were called a pinup, the band was, but,
Sure.
But it was a reluctant thing.
Well, we were very much wanting to gain the respect of the industry because you didn't want to be a pinup. You wanted to think that you were writing songs that mattered and, and developing a voice. And initially, I mean, if I look back on it now, I can freely talk about it, but I was plenty pissed off the first time being on the cover of Rolling Stone and all the girl talks about is your haircut. You're like, listen, if this is what it's about, let's have sex and then leave. Get the hell out of here. We wrote some great songs. And, that was tough. It was tough, yeah.
Were you surprised at the attention that the haircut got around the Keep the Faith record? It did.
Yeah,
almost to
about
me,
that.
It did almost imply to me that image was more important than the art, than the music, because the amount of times it came up in interviews.
Initially, that was an issue, boy. It was like, what does he wear? What does he do? What is his haircut like? Oh, isn't he cute? I can't believe he got married. It was all over every piece of news there was. It was an issue. But, with time, the only great rebuttal I can tell you is, you're here talking to me 17 years later. I guess we got over the idea of being, just these cute pinups. But it was bothersome, I mean, why all those years spending learning how to play your instrument and crafting a song or singing above it, if that was all there was, nobody could deny we were writing songs and performing live. But it was a struggle early on, yeah.
I came across I was doing tons of research. We have an extensive file on the band, articles dating back from day one. There was, I think it was back in '85, you were saying, there's a quote that you were honest. You said, look, we're not 40-year-olds pretending to be kids here. And this was in '85.
Right.
Listening to the album, Just Older,
Yeah.
I think addresses that perfectly.
Yes, it does. I'm not going to go out there and pretend to be 25 now. And, every record, good or bad, and we've made pretty good records over the years, and like Learning Curve, the third one was obviously a phenomenon. And though New Jersey had more technically proficient songs, Slippery will always be that milestone, and then we started to branch out, right? So here we are now making Crush, and the last thing we were going to do was rewrite Bad Name. It was 14 years ago. That was a proud voice of a couple 25-year-old kids, and now I'm 38 years old, and I had no reservations about putting older, really give a damn if anyone said, oh, you are older. Well, yeah, you're right. But like fine wine, man, I'm getting better. But I'm comfortable in my shoes, I don't want to be in Limp Bizkit or Korn. I understand it, I admire it for what it is, it ain't my thing.
And the idea is to get older. Because if you don't, you're dead. And I think the idea is to achieve.
It's a funny universal theme, that lyric, because anyone who was 6 when Slippery came out is now 20. And they're going to look back and go, yes, I'm older now, and I feel better and wiser and having had more experiences. And the same thing, someone 60, can say that when he was 40, he feels more experienced, wiser, better, older. So, hopefully if you've had a life that you've enjoyed in some way, you can say, life just gets better every day. Let's make the most of it.
There's a line in that record talking about chasing that dream. Are you still?
Yeah, I mean, I obviously enjoy the record-making process, and you want, when you make a record, for people to hear it. But look, I feel like a 21-year-old kid on a movie set now, with the wisdom of a guy that's been, through the ringer a number of times in the music business. It's an interesting juxtaposition for a guy on a set of a movie. I'm not the star of the film. I'm the new kid on the block, and that's interesting. With all this other wisdom that you can bring to it, so I am chasing something, yeah.
How does that apply to you then?
Me, I'm just looking to evolve, I think, as a musician, and to continue. It's like a continuum to me. I think it's so intrinsic in my blood to keep on going forward, and the challenges of every time you get done with a record, you're just as good as that record. Every time you write a song, you're just as good as that old song. I mean, we come into every album looking like it's a fight. And it's a fight for our longevity. It's a fight for who we are as artists. And it's also, another fight is the evolutionary fight of trying to be doing something different, and trying to keep on, you know, evolving artistically and maturing as a songwriter, maturing as a musician, and doing all that stuff. And so, you know, that's kind of like where I'm at.
The whole band is involved with something outside this band. There's art, there's, you know, solo projects. With John, it's the acting. Has it ever come to a point where he might have acted too much? You were saying in that span, how many films he did. Was it almost too much of a distraction to the band?
In my eyes, what happened after New Jersey when we did the solo projects is for the first time we realized that we didn't have to be reliant on the band. A lot of bands make the mistake of becoming so reliant on it that it falls apart for reasons that the band doesn't even understand until way after it's over and you can't fix it.
Becomes a combustible situation.
Yeah.
Everybody has so much weight and stuff, you know, everything gets so heavy. You know, it becomes very combustible.
It's like a, you know, it's a cliche to even say, but it's like a marriage, or you know each other better than your own families because all the experiences and all the wars you've gone off to fight as a band to achieve success, they're taxing.